Hey traders, before I get to the watch list video for Monday, February 28th, I'm going to make a quick statement here explaining what we're all about, which is making money between the bells, right? Between the opening bell and closing bell. It's not investing, it's day trading. We're going to start Monday watching the following list of stocks, plus morning gappers that we'll find in the pre-market as the day unfolds. We will also use our scanners to help us find new stocks to watch as well. And then we'll do our best to only take A-plus intraday setups, scaling out into strength while tenaciously protecting against the downside. So if a trade isn't working, we'll accept that our premise isn't playing out the way we planned and get out, then be right back to scanning for the next setup. So I wanted to give a brief summary there of basically what we're all about, because a lot of people write me for investing advice, and I have to explain I'm not an investor, I'm a day trader. So start with the SPY. The SPY had a huge gap down and a big rip on Thursday and continued higher, going out at the highs on Friday. I think the Dow was up like over 800 points on Friday. Pretty impressive rally off those lows from Thursday. Couple highlights from Friday that I got to share. ANGH, which Wayne had ISPO on his morning gap playlist, right? I think he said quiet entry, but this one tends to move with ISPO. So let me go to 5-minute candles. And I think it looked about like this, was starting to curl up when Wayne gave the idea, ANGH 2-day high break. And what that means is that today's high, meaning Friday's early high that it put in at 1640, you look to the left and you say, okay, well, it looks like on Wednesday it also hit 1640. So a 2-day high, in the way we define it, doesn't necessarily mean today's high plus yesterday's high. It can be another day recently, right? On a recent high flyer, of course. So basically, the idea was the 1640 break. And man, talk about working quickly. These are 5-minute candles. So within about 10 minutes, it went from 1640 to 2050. Amazing call. And then also in chat, one of our members, GCM, the initials in chat, gave the idea for ISPO, which again was already on Wayne's list. And it probably looked about like this, maybe even this when GCM put it out. It had topped out at 45. This whole space tends to run together. And the idea was back through 45. Again, it was already showing relative strength. And look what happens when it breaks 45. Who would have thought, right? It went to 71.71 for a $26 a share move. So couple, and both in the in that group that went crazy not that long ago, right? So a couple really neat calls there. I also made some money in CPTN, which also moved with the others. So it was kind of one of those things where the whole group was moving together. Anyway, what are we watching for? What will I be watching for Monday? SQ Square talked about the gap up in it, and massive volume, and went out pretty close to the high. So we're going to see if that one gives a continuation setup. BKKT. This doesn't look like much, but it is Bitcoin related, and Bitcoin's had a nice bounce, although I haven't checked it this weekend yet. But BKKT on Thursday had this big rip, and then on Friday did not take out Thursday's high, did a little cup and handle, but never broke it. So now we've got a potential stat catalyst scenario where Friday's high, 628, Thursday's high not far above that at 635. So when you kind of zoom in and see the volume and then the flag since, it's easier to see than just glancing at the daily. You might not notice anything, right? So we're going to keep that one on watch. OPAD, really nice pop on Thursday. Quiet inside day on Friday. I'll be looking for a third day play set up there. AERI, big volume for this stock and a pretty strong close. We'll see if that gives a continuation pattern. STRN had this pop on, let's see, that would have been Wednesday, topped out at $1.91. And then on Friday, topped out at $1.86. So it might break out over this area. Nice volume on Wednesday as well. AFRM, which is really, really beaten up. I just want to keep that one on watch. It kind of goes with Square, and I actually took a trade in PayPal also on Friday. Let's see, ISPO, I mentioned this one. Definitely going to have to keep this one on watch. I mean, that massive move. Closing well off its highs, though, but that whole space can really, really move at times. You definitely want to be careful with them position size-wise. And ANGH also kind of has a very similar chart, so I want to watch those two. INDO is that oil play that gapped up on the Russia-Ukraine news, sold off, and then stayed inside of Thursday's range on Friday, but definitely closed strong. So Keep an eye on all the oil plays actually, but INDO has been a big mover. HOOK has had a nice move back here and is kind of just quietly consolidating. So I want to put that back on my radar. And then ALF, which had a strong close. I'll show you this here. I really didn't do anything all day until it looks like maybe the final hour all of a sudden ripped, flagged, and went out at its highs. And it looks like in after hours it went up to almost 3 before going out at 273. So that's probably going to be a gapper on Monday. And if it is, we'll treat it like a gap play and see if it gives us one of our A+ setups. I'm done babbling. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you guys on Monday morning in the chat room.